budget. After 8 long years of constant cuts, austerity has not worked for Britain, and it has not worked for my constituency. Our local hospital, Dewsbury District, has had services removed and downgraded. Our high streets losing banks and post offices. Our local authority, Kirklees, being stripped back to the bone with 50% cuts since 2010. And there's still millions of pounds worth of cuts to find, and who knows where from in the coming years. Homelessness has doubled, and I cannot forget the head teacher of one of our best schools in the constituency telling me they have exhausted their ability to make savings around the edges. They've increased class sizes so much now, all they can do is remove the whole German language department to balance the books. Madam Deputy Speaker, there seems something particularly cruel about allowing children to start educational discovery of another language only to have it whipped from underneath them due to funding cuts from this government. I've misplaced my page, page 2. The biggest immediate crisis facing my constituents, however, is universal credit. The fact that there isn't enough money in the system and its harsh but failing structure is causing pain in communities like mine. Because this isn't just an academic exercise for accountants. It's about people like us, people like you, Madam Deputy Speaker, and the opposite benches, people with families and hopes and ambitions. And if the House will allow me, I'd just like to share with you a couple of examples from my own constituency. One constituent forced to sell off his white goods and furniture to pay rent and bills. Another constituent, a former carer, Carol, who recently retired on grounds of ill health, waiting 8 weeks and counting, with not a penny of income. We're trying our best to support her, but there's an eviction scare on the horizon which is absolutely impacting on her health. She's sold off all her jewellery and clothing. She has nothing left to sell. We must be able to do better than this. These cases are unfair and unjust, and I dread to think what people like Carol and the others would end up doing if it wasn't for food banks. And I know the people of Batley and Spen owe an enormous gratitude to the volunteers at Batley Food Bank, who keep helping and keep supporting in the face of rising demand. Demand is up 50% on this time last year, helping over 100 adults and 40 children. Let that land, 40 children. In the last 2 days alone, while we've been listening to and debating this budget, they've helped 26 adults and 14 children. And for some, this is an acute humiliation. One food bank volunteer told me of a middle-aged father of 2 who was out of work for the first time, having been diagnosed with cancer. Waiting for his first welfare payment, he had nothing left for food for his family. He arrived at the food bank asking for help, but it was too much, and he left saying, "I don't want to be here. It's embarrassing. I have worked all my life. I can't do this." The volunteer followed him, ran into the street saying, "It's society that should be ashamed, not you. It's heartbreaking and it's unacceptable."